Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Beyond This with me, Zaheerah, Bham, Ismail. It's that time of the year where I think everyone is just exhausted. We're running through things, trying to get things done. And this conversation is exactly about that. Because for many of us sitting there, it's not the exhaustion that we only feel right now. It's this constant exhaustion from the strength that we are meant to carry. How many times have you said, I'm fine, when you are actually running on empty because you think no one's actually got the time to hear how I truly am? The easiest answer is, I'm fine. And we try and convince ourselves of that as well. We've all been called strong. But these days, it seems less of a compliment and more so a burden when we hear these words. Because every time someone says to you, oh, you're strong, you can manage this, you're strong, you'll be able to cope with it, we've been given the task that behind the strength is someone really, truly tired of just constantly coping, of trying to be the peacekeeper, of trying to hold it together, of trying to fix everything, of trying to manage everything. And people are exhausted. So when we say, oh, you're strong, you can manage, we have to question how much of that truly is strength rather than people just trying to survive to get through things. And very often, I think this ties in, and we've said this previously on podcasts as well, with people being able to say that when you ask someone, how are you, pause and actually wait to hear the answer. Because when you keep telling people they're strong, they may not necessarily be the strength that you think they are. And we're putting this burden onto them to just be able to cope with the grief or the taxing situations that they're in. But rather take the time to ask them how they're managing. Are they okay? Say a little prayer for them to be able to manage what they're going through. Because I promise you that strength right now is looking a lot more like burnout. And people are struggling to be able to get towards the end of this year. You know, South African women, especially mothers, wives, professionals, we've inherited this legacy of resilience. And in some parts, it's really good. We manage, we're able to do things, but it also is paired with its own form of generational trauma of just consistently telling women they need to push through, that they need to just survive, that they need to be strong for everyone around them, that they have to just continuously being here rather than actually connecting and understanding that there are moments where they are going to feel like they need a little bit of help. And we don't open those doors for them to be able to ask for the help that they need. Because we tell them that being strong is what they need to do because that's good. And it's become our survival anthem. It really has. Oh, we need to be strong. This is how you are. You're so strong. Well done on being so strong. And we really don't understand that strength without the softness has just become our armor. And we're just pushing through to be able to survive and we're not thriving. So with all these podcasts that we've done and we talk about women connecting with ourselves, if you're not able to do that and you're just ticking these boxes of survival, that's what your strength looks like. And I promise you, it does end up having many, many unseen costs. Chronic fatigue, emotional burnout, resentment, to everyone around you because you think I'm doing all of this and everyone's lives just continue. Everyone does for themselves, but you are taking this on for yourself as well. We feel unseen. We feel completely taken for granted because everybody thinks you can handle it. The inability to rest because so often we feel guilty when we're not doing things. We feel guilty when we're just being seated. When someone says, oh, you look so relaxed, we don't even take that as a compliment anymore. And it often isn't even given as a compliment. We see it as an attack of we're not being strong, we're not being productive, we're not working, we're not doing things. So we don't even know how to rest. And then all of a sudden, we have this emotional exhaustion. And this is for men and women because we're on this consistent survival mode, and this emotional exhaustion then is often disguised as irritability, being withdrawn, having this numbness to everything around you. And you almost think, I just need to survive. I can't even breathe. So I said this in one of the previous book podcasts with Nabila, where we said that people often feel like they have this noose around their neck, that there isn't even breathing space. And as South Africans, we have this mindset thinking, I'll just get to December. I'll be able to take a break. I'll breathe a little bit and then I'll come back fresh. But you don't even get that. We have events, functions, family events, community events. Everything is taxing. There's financial issues. There's worries all around. We have spaces that are not comfortable and easy for many, many people, relationships, family homes, things like that. So December tends to come where you think you're getting the switch off, but you just end up in January on that same cycle of exhaustion over and over again. And we don't realize how that impacts everyone around us. So there's this deep cultural programming that we have that says, if I stop, everything around me will fall apart. So firstly, no, it won't. It doesn't thrive only because of us. It thrives because of everything around us, including us. But it is not going to stop because we stop or we take a break or we need a reset. Yes, it'll have a little bit of a bump, but things realign. It works. It continues. And we see this all the time. So us being in overdrive doesn't help anyone. When I know that when I'm rushed or I've got an event that we're hosting, I am on overdrive and I'm irritable. I want everything to happen quickly, to happen properly, to happen effectively. But all we do is we create chaos around us rather than creating a free-flowing smoothness around us. And when I say that it's deep cultural programming, I remember my granny used to always say to us, and this is the culture they were raised with, that you have to keep working, you must serve, because if you're not serving, they'll end up replacing you. So you must just keep doing for everyone around you. And my heart broke when I realized afterwards how sad it was to have lived an entire life, but to also know that there were generations of women that came before you, generations of women that were told this after you as well, that your worth and your value lied in serving other people. And that was it. Yes, we have an obligation to serve. Yes, we have an obligation to serve our communities, to people around you. But if you're not serving yourself or looking after yourself, then you are not actually helping anyone around you. So this cultural programming needs to stop. And we really have to change the mindset that validity and is tied into productivity and to this sense of being needed. And we have to take a moment to talk about that, because so many people I know live their lives serving everyone around them. And then children grow up and children move on with their lives. And now all of a sudden you're not as needed. Yes, you will always be needed, but you may not be as physically needed as you were before. Now all of a sudden you're sitting with these emotions of, where do I belong? What do I need to do? Where do I fit in? Because it's actually what you've done. You have tied in your validity to the serving of others. So now when they carry on with their lives, when they call in every now and again, and now you're not feeling that need to have to be there all the time, you struggle with where you fit in. So now is the time to change that for yourself, because you owe yourself a little bit more and you owe yourself better. The other thing that we also do, why we stay in overdrive, so we do that because, like I said, cultural programming, our need for validation, our need to feel needed, but we also fear disappointing others and being seen as weak. So these are the reasons why we consistently keep having to be in this overdrive, where we feel guilty for stopping, for taking a moment. And we do this. We guilt other women for not doing the same things. We guilt other people for not doing the same things, because we feel if I'm doing all of this, they should be doing all of that. We are making these choices for ourselves. So if you're not able to take that moment in it, if it feeds you, if it actually makes you feel wholesome and full, good for you. But you also do need to take that moment of quiet for yourself, because inevitably working in overdrive is just not a healthy way of being in any case. So whether it's in any field, whether in our professional fields, at home, for our community, in any space, if you're not taking those guilt-free moments of rest, you are doing a disservice to everyone around you. So you need to identify what puts you into overdrive. What are the needs for yourself that need to be met? Is it because you've been told you have to be like this? Is it because of personal needs that you have? Is it a fear of not wanting to disappoint others? Once you can identify it, you'll be able to figure out how you're able to work from there and be able to take those moments to be able to heal. We need to reclaim rest back. And I often talk about self-care doesn't have to be selfish, but self-care is important. And how we define self-care is up to us. Self-care doesn't need to be at a spa. Self-care doesn't have to be a holiday away. Self-care is a moment in your day where you just take a time out for yourself, where you have a moment for yourself without feeling guilty, without running through checklists, without saying what you need to do or be there for anyone else. You need moments for yourself as well. Because if you are consistently on overdrive and you don't take care of yourself, there's going to come a time in your life where your health takes strain, where your spirituality takes strain, where mentally you're taking strain, where emotionally you're taking strain. And then you're going to worry about the fact that nobody else is around there to take care of you while you were taking care of them. The truth is, you need to take care of yourself so that you can continue taking care of yourself when you have those moments where you're not feeling as strong as you need to be. So we need to redefine your rest as a strength, not as laziness, not as a cop-out, but as a strength. Because when you see it as a strength to be able to rest, to identify when you need it emotionally, when you need it mentally, when you need it physically, then you'll understand that that helps to fill your cup so that you're able to be there for others in the best way possible. And for me, one of the most important things is we have to understand that rest is spiritual. It's surrender and trust to Allah, to God, to understand that Allah's in charge of everything. So often we take it on saying everything is dependent on me. No, it's not. How many times have we seen people who've passed on and there's a short little hiccup and then life continues around? People move on. People's lives move on, even though we want it to pause. We've seen it happen. We see it, that it continues. So rest is a spiritual release to be able to say, I surrender to Allah. I surrender to a bigger plan. I surrender to trusting that whatever is going to be will be. I can do only so much. It's not in my control. Nothing is in our control. We can put effort in and the rest is up to Allah. We also have to have this emotional rest to understand that we can't fix other people around us. And it really is not our job to fix others. How we present ourselves in the world becomes the examples to people around us. We teach our children as much as we possibly can, but we can't fix their journey either. And we have to even understand that every single person's journey is completely different. And that comes back again to the Alhamdulillah mindset, that whatever comes is yours, Alhamdulillah. Whatever wasn't meant to be yours, also Alhamdulillah. That even children in the same home raised by the same parents will have completely different experiences because we're in different phases of our parenting, we're in different phases of our lives, and we have to accept that our job in life is not to fix others. And I think this was a huge lesson for me, that I felt I had to fix things for people, that if someone came to me with a problem, it meant I had to fix it. And when I couldn't fix it, I felt completely defeated. And I had to take a huge step back to be able to understand that it was not my job to fix. It's not my job to fix. I can't fix it, but I can hold space for people. I can help direct things. I can help tell them, make them feel seen, make them feel heard, help give suggestions. But then it's up to them and whatever Allah has written for them. So we have to take that emotional rest. We have to understand that when we put our heads down, you make dua for everyone around you, but there's only so much we can do because it's not in our hands. And you have to take that guilt away from not being able to fix things around you. And when I spoke earlier about the moments that we have to take in our day, that's your micro rest. Take a break from social media. Take a break from the WhatsApp groups that don't heal you or feed you or help you grow. Take a break from everything around you that doesn't give you a sense of calm. If it's giving you consistent anxiety, consistent stress, consistent breaking you down of how you feel, those are not spaces you need to be in. And we cannot be waiting for that December break to be able to heal, to relax, to rest, to have a reset, to switch on. Because our lives are constantly in this phase all this time. I said to someone that, we at this age of our lives, you're just on a roller coaster. You have to buckle in. Some days are going to be going up and some days are going to be going down. You just have to know how to manage it. But you have to take those micro moments of rest. Take a break from the phone. Have a cup of tea quietly. Our religion gives us 5 times a day where you get to just switch off from the rest of the world. But we do it so automatically, so routine, like I need to just pray, but while I'm praying, I'm ticking off all the other boxes. And that is really not helpful at any level. We need to be able to see it as a break from everything, a switch off, a time out where we connect to Allah, where the King of Kings is giving you a moment to talk to Him. Switch off, connect, be present in that moment. And all of a sudden, you'll start seeing that everything around you is not as big as you thought it was. It's not as serious as you thought it was, because you're always connecting, you're always asking, and you trust that Allah will oversee and look after everything around you. So when you have those moments of micro rest, which we have every single day, make the most of it. You've already been given it. You don't even need to go out and search for how you do this or where you find it. Just gift yourself that. So my question to you is, if you had to stop performing this strength, what would it look like for you if you allowed yourself just to be human again? If you allowed yourself just to feel in each moment, to be present in each moment, where you allowed yourself to just take a moment out, to be allowing yourself to just enjoy a quiet moment, even if it's for 5 minutes. What would that look for you? how much more stronger would you come out from that? Because when you understand that rest is also strength, your perspective on it changes completely. We live taxing lives. I don't think there's a single person out there that lives an easy life. But you were never meant to carry it alone. And sometimes the most courageous act that we can do is to rest, to breathe, and to let God, to let Allah take care of everything that you've been holding on to for so long. We think we're meant to be in control. We think we have to be strong. We think we've got this under control. We think that when we do this, then that will be sorted out. We think when we present ourselves here, then that will be okay. Sometimes we just need to let go. Sometimes we just need to pause. We need to breathe. We need to understand that there's only so much we can do, and we have to trust that Allah will take care of the rest. It's not in our hands. So when you take this moment and when you allow yourself the permission to rest, see it as a strength, not as a weakness, not as a vulnerability, but as a strength in how you show up in the world. So that strength, when someone talks to you about being strong, it's seen as a compliment and not the burden that we have put with it. Because rest is not what makes you weak. It's what keeps your strength sacred. And really, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself not just for you, but for everyone else around you. And I pray that you don't just wait for that 2 weeks in December. You take that moment from now, from today, to make that change. Because what comes next starts right here.